Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 20 binge-worthy anime of the century so far. Again.
いわばデスノートは人間ライトと死神リュークをつなぐ絆だ。
For this list, we'll be looking at the modern anime series that are best served with multiple episodes at a time. If you think we missed any, be sure to check out our original list on this topic, because this is kind of a sequel to that one. Let us know in the comments which other ones you'd suggest, and if there's another anime list you want to see, go to my Twitter at AshJBo and let me know. Number 20, Drifters. At first glance, a Japanese warrior being teleported to a war-torn fantasy world doesn't sound all that groundbreaking. But rest assured, this realm is still well worth the vacation. Despite a familiar setup, the show quickly substitutes genre convention for a tightly written narrative full of rousing action, light humor, and flashy animation. The brisk pace ensures things never get dull, and it's a struggle just to take a breath in between the climactic set pieces. Plus, it doubles as a lesson on Japanese culture, since the titular cast of defenders are reimagined interpretations of actual historical figures. It's a bloody delight, but it's also made by the mad lad responsible for Hellsing, so what do you expect? Number 19, My Hero Academia. Midoriya may be normal compared to our world, but his lack of a superpowered ability makes him an anomaly in his. However, quirk or not, he is determined to become a hero, and thankfully, he's got some mighty mentors to help him along the way.
Young man, you too can become a hero.
The show's blend of breathtaking fight scenes and heartwarming school life hijinks proved to be a downright super combination.
So come at me with all you've got!
Better yet, all that's on top of standout production values and an expansive cast of lovable characters. The bombastic action is as hype as it comes, whilst doubling down on its loving homage to all things superhero.
United States of Smash!
Number 18, The Case Study of Vanitas. In 19th century Paris, a young man with a magical grimoire tracks down vampires, but not to kill them. Instead, Vanitas and his sidekick Noi use the mystical book to cure bloodsuckers of their carnivorous urges. Despite the trimmings of horror, it sidesteps a self-serious tone with plenty of knowing humor and sensual interactions.
同意のない吸血行為は犯罪です。
あら、やっと起きたのね。
Along the way, there's swoon-worthy romances, breezy action sequences, and even a good old-fashioned conspiracy thrown in just for good measure.
さあ、バニタス。服を脱いで。
くわ？
何じゃないわ。
Vampires have never looked so fashionable. Number 17, Skate the Infinity.
ここではスケートのことだけ考えていればいい。何もかも忘れられる。
After launching off the ramp during the crowded 2021 anime season, this light-hearted series landed with an impressive flip trick. It explored the dangerous and often comical world of underground skateboarding without losing sight of its well-defined central themes. To help balance out its dramatic duels, the show rolled on with a surprising attention to character development.
壊れたら直せばいいだろ。俺たちみたいに。
From climactic showdowns to eye-popping skate tricks to Reiki and Lunga's adorable relationship, there was always a good reason to pick up the board again after the credits rolled.
おはよう。
Number 16, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Yeah, the title here is kind of a sales pitch too.
アホか！認められるか！でもスライムだよな。人間じゃない。
While it doesn't stray too far away from the isekai path, it still, somehow, morphed itself into something special. Rimuru successfully swallowed up both food and fan expectations with their lovable attitude. Fulfilling the promise of its name, the show's focus on Rimuru charming quirks lends the series a much-needed emotional center. Their jovial curiosity is then juxtaposed with some intense moments where they totally throw down the gauntlet, or in some cases, the Megiddo. It's a well-executed fantasy with enough added earnestness to make you wish you'd reincarnate into a slime too.
じゃあ俺と友達にならないか？
なんだと
Who wouldn't want to run a nation full of monsters? Number 15, Sabikui Bisco. While it takes place in a dystopian future ravaged by rust, this battle anime completely shakes the stuff off its seemingly familiar tropes. In an attempt to save the world, Bisco and his comrade Milo traverse the desert with only a bow and arrow.
ダメだ。もう咲いちまう。
Except these projectiles spontaneously grow mushrooms upon impact, and might be the key to curing the worldwide plague. Yeah, it's admittedly a strange foundation, but the dubious world building soon becomes its strongest attribute. The post-apocalyptic visuals and non-sentient threats give the show a distinctive narrative identity within its well-trodden framework.
な、うまくいったら。
うまくいってるの？これ。
After some jaw-dropping late-game twists, the only complaint we have is that it went by way too fast. Number 14, Moriarty the Patriot. After assembling the clues, it would appear the real culprit of this show's success was its characters all along. Just not the one you'd expect.
Catch me if you can, Mr. Holmes.
It's no mystery why there's an anime based on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's iconic stories, but focusing on villain William Moriarty would have left even Sherlock scratching his head. However, by flipping the crime scene, the engaging mind games broach new perspectives on justice and classism. As it draws you deeper into its clever mysteries, the show pulls its own sleight of hand by turning into a complex character study. One could say its surge in popularity was elementary.
どうしてわかった？
それは明白だからですよ。
Number 13, Beastars.
今までと特に変わらないから大丈夫。怖がられても嫌われてもそうやって生きてきた。
On principle, CG animation can be a tough sell, especially when the show's main cast is fluffy instead of flesh. But if given the chance, this series will take you by stampede. Its innovative 3D visuals often surpass its 2D counterparts, with beautiful mosaics that push the limits of what anime can look like. There's plenty of meat to chew on these bones too, from Legoshi's animalistic impulses to the brewing conflict between carnivores and herbivores.
いいか、お前が抱いているのは狩猟本能が変形した恋愛感情だ。
It's all seasoned to perfection with just enough political commentary to resonate far beyond its bestial implications. With all that, it's no wonder why this stands at the top of the anime food chain. Number 12, Fire Force. This ember burned its mark on fans through hot storylines and even hotter action sequences. As everyone knows, the best way to douse human combustion is to fight fire with fire. Or at least that's what Shinra and his team of pyrokinetics think.
今から証明してやる。何が何でも蹴り飛ばしてやる。
It seems to be working out to the tune of an ambitious on-screen adaptation featuring some of the most stunning animation a weekly series has ever seen. Complemented by standout sound design, it's hard not to be awed by how much impact each and every blow has. If you're in the mood for something flashy, nothing burns brighter than these flames. Number 11, Black Lagoon. Chaotic, unrealistic, and a bit excessive, but damn, this show is a great time. Even Rock agrees, and he was just a lowly salaryman.
No shit. That's definitely not good news.
After being presumed dead, the former office worker decides to join this modern-day pirate crew as their professional coordinator. From there, it's gang wars, gunfights, and the best kind of criminal antics across a seedy underbelly of a setting. It's cool, it's quick, and best of all, it's easy viewing without ever becoming mindless. That might have something to do with Revy always stealing the show. Number 10. Talentless Nana. At this superpowered high school, math, science, and murder are all part of the curriculum. Given the potential threat of a bunch of super teens taking over the world, the government decides to send in a specialist, the so-called talentless Nana. She may be powerless, but she is oh so efficient at permanently expelling her classmates.
いいや、お前たちこそが人類の敵だからだ。
While everyone else thinks they're in a murder mystery, the real tension comes from whether Nana can complete her mission before her extracurricular activities are exposed. It turns the boilerplate concept into a literal game of Among Us, with a never-ending spree of close calls.
ナナちゃんこそなんで俺を殺そうとすんの？
ですから何かの間違いですよ。
Number 9. Kengan Ashura. Alongside contracts, business transactions in this revisionist Japan are done in the arena. When the prestigious Kengan Annihilation Tournament rolls around, Tokita Oma's knack for busting heads earns him a spot on his sponsor's behalf.
Are you gonna keep running away? You wanted this fight in the first place. So come at me already.
Fine then, here I come.
What follows is a near-exhausting stretch of epic fights full of stellar choreography, awesome techniques, and fist-bumping clashes of strength. Even more, the standout 3D animation elevates the already hype martial arts flurries with fluid movements and dynamic camera angles. Since the story basically chronicles one long tournament arc, the 20-something episodes fly by faster than one of Oma's punches. Number 8. Gurren Lagann. Much like Simon and Kamina, this show just doesn't deserve to be underground. After the two lads stumble upon an ancient mech, they take their rightful concerns about humanity's fate to the war-torn surface world. The sibling-like dynamic between Simon and Kamina grounds the show through some outstanding action sequences that are the epitome of the word epic. There's also a mecha-sized mystery afoot in the galaxy, but it's used as a framing device to tell a genuinely inspiring story about brotherhood and self-empowerment. What makes this show truly great is that it's about lovable characters who happen to pilot giant robots, not the other way around. Number 7. Vinland Saga. The historical backdrop of this dramatized retelling isn't just for effect. Instead, it fearlessly sails the choppy waters of what it really means to be a Viking. Even if parts aren't entirely accurate, the result is undeniably impactful. The Shakespearean plotting and intricate themes effortlessly coalesce into a story that, at its core, is a simple coming-of-age tale, albeit one caked in blood, vengeance, and animosity. However, the bursts of violence are earned through its commitment to deep characters and a fact-based setting. It's a cruel tale about the loss of innocence, but the unflinching realities make it a shipwreck you can't take your eyes off.
アイスランドの戦士トールスの子トルフィン我が父の剣にかけてアシュラットに決闘を申し込む
Plus, Ashlad might just be the greatest written character in anime, period. Number 6. Bungo Stray Dogs. Atsushi's adventures with the armed detective agency will leave you barking for more after just one viewing. To support its fleshed-out cast and unique premise, the series consistently trades out tones and styles to keep each episode fresh. It's a horror film one moment, a comedy the next, and then a cold case after that. Its experimental style means the episodic cases never grow stale, and instead allow a thorough examination of vastly different sides of the cast. And we aren't just talking about the were-tiger transformations. While you can never be totally sure what you're gonna get from it, this supernatural procedural is still well worth adopting. Number 5. Death Note.
Just watch me, El. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left.
Turns out murder is indeed like potato chips, you just can't stop at one. From the inaugural scribble in the Death Note, there's no looking away from this addictively entertaining thrill ride. The captivating back and forth between the wannabe omnipotent Light and the prodigal detective L is less a game of cat and mouse than it is a war of two damaged geniuses. Instead of empty action sequences, Death Note subverts expectations at every page through riveting rounds of mental chess that produce some genuinely heart-stopping plot twists. Number 4. Astra Lost in Space. Adolescence is tough enough even without getting stranded across the cosmos.
捜索は絶望的だ。宇宙キャンプ日誌アリエススプリング1日目。
Luckily, these kids are resourceful enough to set a course back. But managing resources, making supply runs on hostile planets, and keeping hormones in check is a tough job for 9 teenagers. While their slowly formed camaraderie is worth the price of admission alone, it's the ambitious mystery at its heart that really sends the show into the stratosphere of greatness. Unfortunately, that's really all that can be said without rocketing into an asteroid field of spoilers. Just take our word for it that this seemingly straightforward road trip shot for the stars in more ways than one.
俺が出る。くそ嫌いなんだよ。絶望とかいう言葉。
Number 3. Mobile Suit Gundam 00. After nearly 30 years on the air, you'd think these legendary mechs would cast a shadow so big no one could even step out of it. And yet somehow the 00 series proved its Gundams weren't running on fumes just yet.
Yeah, I know.
The thematically rich story has a propulsive sense of narrative momentum that practically yanks its viewers along with it. But this is Gundam, and naturally it features some classic mecha carnage.
Well, come on!
Exia, ready for target elimination.
Plus, the advent of modern technology helped it deliver some of the most thrilling action the series has ever seen. With shiny production values and plenty of fuel left in the tank, 00 didn't just reach Gundam's high bar, it may well have surpassed it. Number 2. Baki Franchise. If you're looking for more of a long-term relationship, it's hard to go wrong with a show that's been shattering ribs and expectations for over 20 years.
I can handle this! Go on! Get out of here! Don't worry. I'm the one who's taking you out.
Across 3 series and 100 episodes, Baki's proven his worth in the delightfully lethal game of no-rules hand-to-hand combat. The iconic action sequences haven't let up yet, and each new iteration of the show continues to build upon the surprisingly deep ongoing storyline. Baki just keeps getting stronger, and there's no sign of him stepping out of the ring anytime soon. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. Armed with the power to force obedience upon anyone, Lelouch v Britannia wages a strategic struggle against his corrupt royal lineage.
You don't want it to end here, do you?
But what happens on the battlefield isn't nearly as engaging as the ideological decisions that war demands. This show routinely reminds the audience that while Lelouch is the main character, he's no hero.
I am Zero.
Zero? Who is this person?
Instead, his single-minded determination leads to some downright maddening cliffhangers guaranteed to leave you hitting play next. If you start this show, you might as well grab a snack and get comfortable too, since your eyes will be glued to the screen as if Geass itself commanded it. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.